Hi folks, today we're going to talk about another use of force case with a firearm that was in the news last week, and I'm going to tell you what you should not do. Let's get started. I'm Steve from Martell Training Group. I'm a retired New Jersey State Trooper, and from time to time we review these cases that are in the news to offer explanation or detail steps that were taken and what you should be thinking, what your mindset should be as a defensive shooter or someone who's looking to defend themselves, whether it be in public or at home. So in this incident, this was reported by News 12 out of Westchester, New York. We're going to show the video and you're going to see the homeowner who comes out of his home. Now News 12, I'll put a link to the video. You can watch it. There's no sound here. For the video purposes, News 12 reports that this is a County Highway Supervisor, John Riley, who apparently, according to the video, when you watch it, he shoots at a DoorDasher who's lost. Now, he did hit him. He's in the hospital with serious injuries, according to the news article. As you see this video, he comes out of his house. You don't see the dasher because he's in his car in the driveway trying to leave. So he comes out of his house, he fires 3 shots. It looks like one is sort of like a warning shot. It looks like it's off to the side. And then he's yelling the word go. He actually shoots towards the vehicle at least twice while the dasher is trying to leave. So he fires a total of 3 shots that we see in the video. And I just wanted to break this down, folks, and talk about it because no matter what state you live in, no matter whether you have stand your ground laws, whether you don't, whether it's outside your house, inside your house, we're just going to go over a couple of scenarios here why I don't see how there could be any reason why you would do this. You would exit your house and shoot at someone who's leaving. I don't know what's going on with this guy. Something's going on with him, and obviously he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But according to the article, he's also an FFL, a federal firearms licensee, so he's got the ability to sell guns, acquire guns as an FFL, as a dealer. So the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms are also investigating this case. Now, his firearms were seized, according to the article. Feelings about extreme risk protection orders. But in this case, in my opinion, it actually worked. It actually did what it was supposed to do. Now, we don't know the whole story. We don't know what happened leading up to it, but we do have the advantage of hindsight. And we see other videos that this was a lost DoorDasher who, I guess he was having trouble with his phone. His phone died, I guess. So he didn't have the ability to use his phone. He was trying to find where to deliver his food. He knocked on a couple of doors leading up to this shooting house. So we know with hindsight, the advantage of hindsight, the benefit of hindsight, that he's a lost DoorDasher. He ends up at this guy's house. For whatever reason, something happens. We don't see the part of the video where he's at the door. All we see is the DoorDasher is in his car in the driveway trying to drive away, and the homeowner comes out of his house and takes 3 shots at him as he's leaving. So we're just going to break down what we can see. I'm going to go through a couple of scenarios and say what if, because that's what we need to do to learn about these cases, these use of force cases. Now, I should just mention that in our course that you can click on the link and get more information on, we do break these use of force incidences down. We go through in much detail. There's an entire module dedicated to use of force where we talk about these types of cases. We use several examples that were in the news to show you and explain to you what your mindset should be when you're talking about use of force in general, and especially if you carry a firearm. So to me, there's no reason why you would ever need to leave your house where you presumably are in a position of safety, where instead of leaving your house, you could just dial 911 and stay in your house. Holster for that gun, or he has a second gun. He leaves with it, he exits his house. There's no one at his front door. The DoorDasher is already in his car when we see this in the video. He exits his house. It looks to me like he's firing 1 warning shot off to the side, and then is trying to reposition his car. He fires off a second shot and then finally a third shot, which you hear a yell coming from the car. The DoorDasher getting hit in the back. The news reports that he was struck in the back and he's in the hospital in serious condition. So first and foremost, I'm from New Jersey. There's no reason why you would ever leave your house with a gun and chase somebody, even if they're on your property. If they're a threat, unless they're shooting at you inside your house, there's no reason to leave your house and go after somebody with a gun, in my opinion. Now, are there exceptions? There are always exceptions. So if one of my kids or a family member is kidnapped or taken and they're trying to get away with them, obviously you're going to go after them. You're going to do whatever you can to protect your loved ones. You're not only expected to, but when you're talking about kids, you're legally required to protect them. Could there be a reason why you would leave your house with a gun? Maybe, but again, it would have to be one of those cases where a loved one's getting kidnapped, but you're not going to be shooting at them because you don't want to hit your loved one. So that kind of blows that theory. Now, again, you might want to chase somebody if they have a loved one. I would do whatever I needed to protect them, to get them back. But lock the door, you position yourself where you're safe, behind cover, you call 911, and you let the police handle it. Now, I know in some states, someone breaking into your house, just that mere fact alone is considered a threat. And you can do certain things when we're talking about use of force to protect yourself because they've broken into your house. In New Jersey, that's not the case. You don't necessarily, and I say necessarily, have a duty to retreat in your own home. Under certain conditions, you still do have a duty to retreat. We're not going to get into those details now, but in general, in New Jersey, there has to be a threat for you to use deadly force even inside your house. Well, he broke into my house, so I shot him. You can't just say that. You have to have a reason why you use deadly force. You obviously can use a certain level of force to get them out of your house, but if they're not a lethal or deadly threat, you can't just jump right to deadly force. So let's just assume for a minute, we don't see this part in the video. Let's assume for a minute the DoorDasher is at his door and the homeowner thinks that he's a threat for whatever reason. So if he's still outside, obviously he can close the door. Again, dial 911, tell him to leave, get off my step, leave, go away, I'm calling the police, shut the door. Now, that's how he could have handled that. If he thought he was a threat standing at his door, first of all, maybe not even answer the door. Secondly, if you answer the door and try to find out what's going on, if he still thinks he's a threat, shut the door, lock the door, call 911, take a position of cover. Let's assume for a minute, maybe the dasher came into the house, and I'm just throwing wild scenarios out here. So it looks like he has two doors, maybe a outer storm door or screen door, and then the inner solid door. So let's assume maybe his inner door was open, and maybe the dasher knocked, maybe he couldn't hear, or maybe he thought he heard somebody yell, "Come in." He's got the food, maybe he thinks that's the house. He opens the door. Let's just throw this out there. He walks into the house, he's standing there with a bag of food. Now you're the homeowner, you're faced with this guy, you didn't order food, you don't know why he's in your house, you think he's a threat. You tell him to leave. If you have a gun, if you're standing there with a gun, maybe you take it out and show him, "Hey, you're in my house, get out, I didn't invite you." So assuming that happened, maybe he entered the house. So let's assume that he did that. However it happened, if that did happen, now he's out of the house and he's in his car. So even if he did come in the house looking for somebody, trying to get directions, trying to get help, maybe there was some kind of altercation that we don't know about. Nonetheless, we do see the DoorDasher in his car trying to leave in the driveway, and we see the homeowner running out, shooting at him. I'm trying to wrap my head around why he would feel a need to do this, even if he felt threatened by the DoorDasher at first, which again, we don't see that part on the video. And again, he might have just knocked on the door. He might have just been trying to communicate and say, "Is this the house? Can you help me with directions?" We don't know. We don't see that part. But I'm just assuming the worst case scenario. Let's give the homeowner the benefit of the doubt that he got caught off guard. There's a stranger at his door, and maybe he's trying to come in, or he thinks he's trying to come in. Maybe he opened that outer door and walked in and yelled, "Hey, hello, can you help me?" I'm just throwing these out there to try to think of different scenarios that could have happened, could have caught this homeowner off guard. Even if that did happen, now he's out of your house, he's in his car, and he's trying to get away, and you're going to shoot your gun 3 times. You're going to leave your house, go outside, and shoot your gun 3 times. I can't see any reason why you would do that. So I'm just letting you know, folks, that we do these videos to try to help people that are carrying concealed, especially new people that are carrying, just to try to think of different scenarios. That what if this happened to me? What if somebody came to my house? What if there was a knock at my door? What if my outer door was open and I was in the kitchen, I was in a different room, and all of a sudden I hear voices, I hear somebody talking, I hear somebody yelling out, and now I'm face to face with somebody. The guy could have a legitimate reason for feeling threatened at some point, but in the part of the video that we see, with him leaving his house, exiting his house, where the Door Dasher is in his driveway, driving away, or trying to drive away, he's shooting at him. To me, the threat is no longer there. If he did perceive a threat, it is no longer there, and therefore there's no reason to leave your house, presumably in a position of cover and safety. No reason to leave that. Go outside, whether it's on your property or not, and shoot at somebody who's trying to leave. Let me know what your thoughts are. Put in the comments what you think about this video. I know it's been out there. People have been making comments. If you want a free personal safety and situational guide, click on the link above and in the description, and you can download your free personal safety guide. It's actually 16 guides in one. As always, folks, thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe.